Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Rona Dayz, episode 68 of the show that will never end. Celebrating a few days ago, last week. I don't remember. I think it was like July 2nd. So by the time you're watching this, a week and a half ago, was the 3-year anniversary of this show. Not Swipe Up, not Rona Dayz. The Ray Taylor Show. I started 3 years ago on July 2nd. Started off doing 3 episodes a week. But after maybe a month, I had gotten it up to a daily show. It was 3 days a week, and then I was like, well, I got used to doing that, and I was like, well, I could just do 5 days a week. That way it's Monday through Friday, every, a weekday kind of a deal. And then once I started doing that and got used to that, I was like, well, might as well just do it daily. I mean, why take 2 days off? I mean, if I could just add 2 more and it's daily, and that's like, I don't know, it's kind of like on some level, a goal as a podcaster, as somebody who produces podcasts, to put out a show every day. And I love the flexibility that I have doing the show and the way I'm doing the show, because I'm able to experiment with things like being able to just start a show like this where I just recap my week, or doing a show like Swipe Up that it's like I wanted to see if I could do it. And now it's become kind of like a news opinion type of a show that, has kind of grown into its own thing. Reviewing movies. Top 5 is a new, fairly new episode aspect of the show where I rank things like movies and just obscure topics. So it gives me a lot of freedom to experiment with things and try new things out. And I really do enjoy doing it. I've gotten, really used to the production schedule and gotten efficient at getting everything done. And every time I get a little bit more efficient to free up time, I add more stuff. I probably add more things to it than I need to, but I enjoy it. And I'm hopeful that eventually it will become profitable. Right? Like, everything you put your time and energy in, the goal for me is to get good, to always get better, to always improve at doing the things, or to do more, which is part of growth. But the byproduct of that would be nice to make some money, to be able to pay bills, and which, it's making more today than I was last year, more than I was when I started. But I'm not surviving off of this stuff. If you are a fan or just, somebody who wants to support me, aside from buying my artwork, which I make and sell and put out daily as well, which would be awesome, would be a direct way. There's some merch you can buy from me. But to support this podcast, if you're a business or somebody that wants me to promote their thing, hit me up and, buy some ad space. Or sign up for the Patreon, and you can binge the full week of this show without any ads. All of my archived podcasts that I've done over the past decade are available there as exclusive content for the Patreon members. So you can go to patreon.com/inspireddisorder, sign up there, and get a bunch of extra content. So there's ways. Become a sponsor, sign up for the Patreon, buy my artwork. There's ways where you can financially support me, which would be amazing, would completely change my life. But yeah, 3 years of The Ray Taylor Show, and to think of how it started and where I am now. I mean, the idea for the Ray, I didn't know what I was going to do in the podcast space. I had, coming off of almost a decade of doing the Inspired Disorder podcast that has evolved and changed and grew on its own. But that ended. I didn't really know. I experimented with a few things. I didn't really know what I was going to do. And then IGTV got released, and that was a video service that was geared towards vertical video. So I was like, well, let me produce a show that's vertical, and I'll just do, short. It was also confined to like 10 minutes at first. So I'll just do short 10-minute episodes. And that's how it started. And then I added the green screen eventually, of course, doing it daily, and then figuring out doing regular shows on regular days, like just an overall schedule for the show. So it's been a fun ride and a great learning experience, kind of teaching myself a new way to create a show. And it's been a lot of fun. And it's a show that I haven't had any trouble showing up every Sunday to record and edit and get it out there, even when I'm not feeling well, which happens every once in a while, but I've never missed a Sunday. Even if my voice went away the day before, I was able to power through. I've never missed a week, and I'm proud of myself for that, for keeping up with the not only keeping up with the schedule, but adding to it. And I think I've slowly gotten better, and I'm still trying to get better. I'm not. Thank you all for struggling through this with me. But yeah, it's that happened this past week. I didn't even realize it. It's just something that I knew was coming up, and completely blanked on when it passed. But yeah, 3 years of the Ray Taylor Show. I mean, I've grown and I've experienced a lot. Not only am I 40 years old, not only have I been producing this show for 3 years, producing podcasts since 2007, but I still make mistakes. I make decisions that I regret almost daily, different levels of regret. And I made a mistake today that I regretted. So to break down my Sundays, I produce this show, but I also, how I like to start my day, I get everything set up, all the equipment set up on Saturdays. So Sunday, I just have to wake up. I'll, have my coffee. I'll post all my content to social media. And then I like to take a shower and I'll shave. And since the pandemic, I've pretty much gotten down to showering once a week. So not kind of strange that I'm single, but, it's just the way I'm living. So I take my weekly shower on Sunday. I trim up the beard, get everything clean. I've been getting kind of foresty down in my groinal region. And I don't have money to spend on Manscaped, but if Manscaped wanted to sponsor this show and give me, one of their products, or any kind of male grooming company, if they wanted to give me a product for me to test and use and test and review, I would love to do that. But I don't have any. I have just your standard hair clippers, which works good enough for trimming the beard and works good enough for when I need to shave my head. So it does the job. I don't have any specialty equipment. But my hair in the groin area was becoming an overrun forest, and I needed to take care of it. And what I've been doing is using Nair for sensitive areas, right? It's designed for sensitive areas. So this morning, it's been, a month or two since I've cleaned up my situation. So I decided I'm going to clean up my situation, right? I'm taking my weekly shower. Let's get a little bit more done. I cleaned up my beard a little bit. Let's clean up down around my twig and berries. I put on, in hindsight, way too much Nair. I caked it on. And I'm like, I'll just go and I'll just kind of get a perimeter. I'm not expecting anybody to see this area. I'm not going for aesthetics. I'm just going for something that's going to, just free me up down there. I do like the feeling of not having, I get super long, bushy pubic hair, and it's just less is more as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just going to clean up a big area. What happened was some of the nair got into a crease between my leg and my balls, and it hurt. It was there for a little bit too long, and by the time I got in the shower, washing off clumps of hair just falling off my nuts and all in my pubis area, just clumps of hair falling like I'm some like in a horror movie. You know those horror movies where they're taking a shower and they just go to wash their hair and just clumps of hair just coming out in their hands. That's what nair does to your hair, especially if it's in the pubic areas. Clumps of hair. I'm gonna have to clean that drain, I realized as well, which is fine. Clean the drain many times. Clumps of hair. I go to wash with soap, and I'm getting burning sensation. So while I'm taking the shower, I'm like, okay, I got some skin irritation. I'm going to go, and I'm going to put on some aloe vera on this area, and it's going to help soothe it. It's going to help make it feel good, right? Right? So that's my idea. I'm in the shower. After the shower, cleaning up, I'm like, oh, I remembered that I ordered this spray-on antiseptic stuff that I had gotten for my dog because she has like a little wound on her foot that I putting like Neosporin on it, keeping it clean or whatever, and it's going away. But I got this spray to make it easier because she doesn't like, I got to be tricky. So if I got a spray, I'm like, oh, I'll just spray it, and it's new skin, so it's like an antiseptic, but it also is like a spray-on Band-Aid. So I was like, oh, it's perfect for my dog, right? I can just spray it on. I don't have to. It'd be easy peasy. I'm going to use that, right? Because I'll spray it on, and it's just going to keep it from getting infected or whatever, right? So I get out of the shower, I get into my room, I grab the spray, I position a mirror under my sack, like angles of my body that I've never seen, areas that I've never witnessed before. Only a few lucky women, or maybe not lucky, but brave women have voyaged to. Prop the mirror up, get the angle right, and I spray. And let me tell you, the absolute level of pain that happens the moment that fluid hits that area of this crease near my ball sack. It is the most searing pain. It is like somebody stuck a glowing hot metal rod into that area, and I can almost hear the skin sizzling. I'm in so much pain from this spray in this area that's sensitive. Just so much pain. And I instantly regretted how when I first got the spray and I sprayed it on my dog's foot, how she yelped. And I thought it was just because I surprised her and it was cold. She tends to overreact. She doesn't like her feet dealt with. It's very tricky trimming her nails. So I thought the dog was overreacting. But the moment I sprayed my balls, my shorts around my ankles, I'm like bent over in pain, holding myself up on my desk chair, just praying for any kind of wind or breeze to drift between my legs and soothe my aching balls. It was the worst pain that radiated and would not go away, and felt like I had made an extremely bad mistake by not only nairing my balls, which I'll continue to do. I just won't go as crazy as I did today. I just did way too much. And in areas that I don't normally, like I usually just go for the ball. I trim everything as much as I can with my trimmer, and then I go for the detail stuff with the, usually the shaft and the balls. Try to get those nice and smooth and clean. So I made a lot of mistakes, too much nair, then the inspiration to use this spray-on new skin, and and also the fact that I used it on my dog, which I just, in pain, sweat pouring from my body because I'm in so much pain, just soaked. My hair's soaked. My shirt, when I first started recording, was just completely soaked through. So much sympathy for my dog. I felt so bad. But at least I know, right? I mean, that's karma. I'm sure my dog was looking at me going, I told you, asshole. It hurt me. And you sprayed it on your nuts, you idiot. So needless to say, I did put on some aloe vera, which is something that's supposed to soothe burns and, skin burns and sensitive areas. I put that on, and that almost reactivated the new skin, so it started stinging even more. And I had to literally stand in front of the fan, an oscillating floor fan, for probably 10 minutes. It definitely felt a lot better, but it eventually went away. I didn't know how I was going to record today with ball pain like that. Thankfully, it went away. But it's just one of those times in life where you realize that you're not done learning. There are more lessons for you to learn, and going crazy with the nair around your ball area is not a smart idea. It's a great way to clean up your stuff, but just don't go crazy with it. And definitely don't if you have any irritation in those areas, don't compound the pain by putting on a spray-on antiseptic. It reminded me of when I was a kid and putting Bactine on a cut and how that would hurt, right? I've never bought Bactine, right? That's just something parents bought to put on their kids. And it would make it now I know why I cried, because it was painful. I mean, spraying it in sensitive areas near your taint is maybe different than, a cut on your arm, your ability to handle the pain, but it definitely brought me back to a child of childhood pain. But yeah. Don't do that to yourself. Learn from me. Speaking of being soaking wet, no, I guess that's kind of it. I'm kind of happy I bought the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood novel by Quentin Tarantino, which is supposed to be, I think it's a prequel, but I'm not entirely sure. And I don't really want to know. I just want to read it. I'm looking forward to reading it. Here it is right here. The paperback. 400 pages, but it's like a cheap paperback that you would read a trashy novel. I'm excited. I love that movie. I watched it multiple times in the theater. I've watched it a few times since I purchased it. But excited to read that book. It's been forever since I've read a book, so I'm hoping that in reading a book that I will learn how to speak better. We'll see. We'll see how that plan goes. But anyway, that's been my week. Hope everybody's had a good week. Hope everybody had a happy and healthy 4th of July. Actually, it's 4th of July as I record this. I have no plans other than doing what I always do on a Sunday, which is edit and start drinking once I start editing. That's kind of my thing. But anyway, that's it for this episode of Rona Dayz. Until next week, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Get your vaccinations. Keep wearing your mask because the Delta variant's out there, and it's killing people that aren't getting vaccinated. But there's no point in spreading that shit around, especially if you have kids, because it affects kids too. And kids can't get vaccinated yet. But get your vaccinations. Wear your masks. Be nice to people. That's it. Get yourself some new cell phone service that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. It's great service, coast to coast, but the low rates are what you're going for. And because you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/ting, that's right, Ting is the cell phone service, you're going to get $25 in credit. You can use that credit toward your service. You can use that credit towards a phone. If you already have a phone and you want to keep your phone, but you just don't want to pay so much for your cell phone service, head on over to Ting. Make sure you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/ting. That way you get $25 in credit to use towards anything over at Ting. inspireddisorder.com/ting. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!